I want to talk about your studio.
The name of your studio is it?
Yeah,
WTF?
what's the name of this? What the?
WTF Studios.
WTF.
WTF
Okay,
Studios.
I stumbled into that.
The studio's in Waterford, Connecticut.
Waterford. Oh, okay.
So WTF See, you folks with dirty minds.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
That's- Welcome, 2025 NAMM, the last booth talk of the day for us. We're on day 2. And for me, one of the most exciting. So I have 2 true legends here. There's no two ways about it. I know both of them. I do not know both of them well, full disclosure, but we all know of them very well. So we have Frank Filipetti and we have Sylvia Massy. Small applause. All right, yeah.
Yay.
And it looks like they're a duo. I mean, Ian and Sylvia, Sonny and Cher, there they are together, but one lives in, Frank, you live in Connecticut and you live in Oregon, and I don't know how, so how often are you in the same room?
Well, we Zoom in the same room
Zoom,
once a week.
Zoom.
We do a Zoom once a week.
Yes, we do a Zoom once a week.
But no, it's only in events like this that we get to see each other, or when we do a Met Alliance event, like we
workshop.
did in Nashville.
Well, we'll get into what you did and all that stuff, and first of all, most people know, but let's go right to the Met Alliance, okay? Because both of you are in the Met Alliance, and we're honored to be maybe the newest, or one of the newest members of the Met Alliance, and we are, WSDG is, I believe, the first company to be endorsed that doesn't sell a product.
Right.
Okay, and we, thanks to Elliot's, Elliot Shiner was instrumental in doing that. That's a real honor. So, can either of you can bounce back and forth. Tell me about the Met Alliance, how it got started, who's doing what, who does the heavy lifting.
Well, Sylvia has come along and ended up doing the heavy lifting. She's been amazing with us.
What is the Met Alliance?
We were initially a group of 7 engineers who used to do events like this and walk around like everyone else, and started partnering up for dinners and things like that. And then at one dinner we said, we're talking about, oh, this product sucks and this music is going downhill and blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, guys, stop complaining, do something about it or don't. So we suddenly decided, well, all right, we'll form a group. The idea being to pursue excellence and to endorse excellence. And, for a long time there, good was the new excellent, and we weren't happy with that.
So that group included George Massenberg, Elliot, Chuck Ainley, and we also had Phil Ramone. Phil Ramone not with us anymore.
Not with us. We also had Ed Cherney, no longer
Sadly
with us.
enough, also not
And
with us.
the one and only Al Schmidt.
Al Schmidt, right.
So we had a pretty great organization of people that I was honored to be on.
Yeah, 1 or 2 Grammys between
Yeah.
you.
Well, and
1 or 2.
So it's hard when you're in a group like that to say, when Phil Ramone passes, how do we replace him? Well, you don't. You're not going to replace Phil Ramone. You're not going to replace Al Schmidt. You're not going to replace Ed Cherney. So we finally said, so we weren't adding anybody.
But you haven't added anybody.
And, well, we have. We added Sylvia.
Oh, okay.
We added Jimmy Douglas and Nico Bolas. And they were all ultimate.
3 pretty good additions.
Yeah, and we just decided that, it was time to branch out. Thank God, because as I said, Sylvia's been doing the heavy lifting. Jimmy Douglas has introduced us to a whole new way of working and doing things, and how people in the modern music world are working. Mm-hmm. And And Nico is just too fun to hang to
Yeah.
be, not to have him.
So you meet regularly?
Every week on Sunday.
That's the every week.
Yes, we meet every week on Sunday, and we chit chat about whatever bullshit is happening. We'll talk tech. We'll talk. It's and I've gotten to know these guys well. I mean, I was terrified of Frank when I first met him because
I was terrified too when I first
I
met
know,
him.
right? So, but now I think he's wonderful. I love him. My husband loves you.
Yeah.
And we've spent enough time together now with the Met Alliance that I can call them my friends. And I am so honored to be a part of this group. And I'm still kind of pinch myself about it.
Chat a little bit. So the Met Alliance has a kind of product endorsing or aligning program. How does that
It's
work?
got two elements. One is product endorsement, the idea of if you're going to spend money on this particular product, there are some that will get you by, but there are some that will up your game. So that's the first thing, is to let people know what these products are. The second element, though, is education.
Okay.
The idea that the way, as Jimmy has introduced to us, the way they make records today, where it's kind of one element at a time on a laptop, is a new way of making records, but there are elements of the old way, which was putting a bunch of people in a room and having them communicate musically as the song is being formed, has its own advantages over deciding on a rhythm track and then just adding pieces. So education is part of it as well as
How many manufacturers have you endorsed approximately? Do you know?
Jim, 19 or 20, I think.
I think
something
about
around
20.
19 or 20.
And one
yeah.
design
Did
company.
20.
And what,
Yeah,
you're the first.
only you're the only one.
Only you, yep.
Okay. So we'll, just because we kind of put some stuff.
Ah, there's my studio.
Well, okay, what a shock, what a surprise. Yes, I
Yeah.
want to talk about your studio because you are here in a company that has something to do with designing studios. So what the fuck is going
What is the
on
name
here?
of your studio? Is it
Yeah, what's the name of this?
WTF?
WTF Studios.
WTF.
WTF
Okay,
Studios.
I stumbled into that.
But that's the studio is in Waterford, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
So WTF
okay.
See, you folks with dirty minds.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
That's-
But it's
we're-
not
we're-
Filipetti. Is the F is not Filipetti?
No,
That's a lot of baloney.
It's Waterford Studios.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
No, it's funny because I saw a Waterford fire engine going by one day when I first moved there, and it said WTF, and I said, that's my studio.
what do you mostly do? Is it mostly post-production, mixing? Are you doing any live recording here?
Mostly immersive and stereo mixing.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's jump over to Sylvia really quick. We're going to come back, okay? And I want to look at her studios. More credits than we know what to do with. Everybody can read. Let's look at. Is this your
Okay,
current
this is
studio?
my studio. Yeah, this is called the Audio Shop.
And it's a good thing you don't like gear.
It's a little bit. It's like a little gear heavy.
A little gear heavy.
Well, we
yes.
bought a museum, which was a radio and microphone museum. We kept the
Wow.
microphones and we sold off most of the radios, but we kept all the mic pre's. So these are all these
wow.
old mic pre's.
Do they work?
Western Electric. We haven't had a chance to even try most of them, but RCA's,
They're only
Rambler.
microphones.
Yeah, and we've got a bunch of old mics here, and over on this side, there's a lot more mics. Anyway, we've got a very large mic collection and a lot of crazy gear.
So I see what looks to me like 4 consoles. What's your workflow?
Yeah.
How are you? What are you all in the digital domain? Any analog?
We do so many things. We
Yeah.
do tracking, we do mixing, we do Atmos. So when we're doing stereo mixes, we're using a summing system by Dangerous Music.
All right.
And when we're tracking, we're using the Rupert Neve Designs 2 sidecars, which make
Okay,
one
right,
good
yep.
console. This is a Loop Trotter modular console. It's got 500 series modules in it. and it's kind of a auxiliary.
Yeah, this is an aux console. This
yeah,
is like
this
what
is aux,
Annie
and we
does.
don't actually use this. It's just for looks.
This is what Annie did at Jungle. She took an old EMI and used it as an aux against an AWS.
Yeah, and we cut open the top of a desk and put that in there, and
very cool.
And
Very
we
cool.
built this whole kind of thing. I did drawings ahead of time, and then my husband built the studio over time. But yeah, we started here building the desk, and I wanted to have a studio that had a workspace in front of me, not that I was leaning on a console all the time. And I wanted to have the monitor really close to me, so we just designed this horseshoe shape so that I could have a flat surface right there in front of me.
You mentioned tracking. What are you tracking and where are you
Well, the tracking room was over on this side, and you can't see it. There's
How big is that?
sliding doors.
How big?
It's about the size of a one-car garage.
Okay.
It's not that big. I've had much bigger studios in the past, but this is like, this is my home
That's
studio,
right.
you know,
So-
like you got the home studio.
What's this guy?
right?
Somehow this.
Yeah, so this is an older studio that I had. It was called Radio Star. It was in Weed, California, and it was in an old theater, a 600-seat theater with a balcony. And what we did was removed seats out of the back and set up this old Neve console, and I made pedestals to put the monitors on. And you can see there's really no wall behind it. It goes down to the stage. This is the stage,
Right.
which is quite far away.
We just talked about that.
We just
Yeah.
talked about that, about how the speakers don't have reflective surfaces behind them.
The bigger the room, almost the easier.
The bigger the room.
So, each of you, I'll ask the same question. What's the majority of your work now? I think you suggested immersive, so it's post-production.
It's not. I don't do any film work or TV work. I mean, I used to, but I don't anymore. It's mostly mixing new or legacy products and projects in not Atmos, which I like, but it's not my favorite system. So I'm
Which
doing
system
a bunch
are
of,
you using?
I'm doing a bunch of projects now in a new system called Oro 3D.
Not that
And-
new, actually.
It will be the first immersive streaming system out there, and it's.
If you're doing your work in Oro, how are you delivering that to Apple?
I'm delivering it. I let the mastering engineer take care of that.
Okay, they do it in the mastering.
Yeah, but basically, I'm providing, as I'm mixing, 12 mono tracks.
7, right.
Yeah, 714. It's a 714 system,
12.
so 12 mono tracks.
So the mastering house figures that out.
And that's easy. And then, as with, and I also deliver 714 with Atmos as well.
Right.
And that's the majority of what I'm doing.
So these are legacy projects that now want an immersive.
Some are legacy,
mix.
some are new, but yeah.
The legacy ones, are these with artists that you can talk to or that are not here anymore?
Some. I did a series of albums for George Michael in Atmos. Obviously not here anymore.
You were solely responsible for the immersive placement
Well,
decisions?
I was responsible up to George Michael's team in England, who would say that's the wrong second verse, or something. But the remainder of the stuff, yes, I'm doing stuff with Carly Simon, who is now thankfully still with us. And if you look at my studio,
Well, let's
we
go
can
back.
get that
We're going to
up.
go back and grab your studio.
So basically, the way I have it set up, I don't like being able to see. I don't look when I mix. I don't want to see waveforms.
Oh, really?
I don't want to. I want.
So that's why they're on the side.
Yeah, they're on the side because when I'm looking straight ahead, now Grogu, who's there in the center, she comes down or he comes down, whatever that is. But I have JBL M2s 1, 2, 3, and then in the back.
It's a
1,
good speaker.
2,
I always like that speaker. The
a
M2s.
beautiful speaker.
Yeah.
And then I have the 4 705s at the top. And so I'm looking straight ahead. If I need to look at meters, then I glance
You
left
just
or
glance
right.
over,
But
yeah.
most of the time, I'm console oriented, and I don't want to see waveforms. I don't want that to influence me. I strictly want to be,
Interesting.
because when I look at waveforms, oh, look at how much bass has got. I don't want.
You want to listen?
I want to listen to it. Yeah.
Same question to you. Most of your work now. Can you pencil it in, or
It's actually several different types of recording, mixing. We are tracking albums at our studio, and also
just to interrupt, the we is sort of the corporate we, or there's a
I
Sylvia Massy
have
team?
an engineer that I have worked with for a long time, and some new engineers too. So together we will do these projects, and we also mix stereo through summing, digital summing, and then we also do analog mixing through the Neve, the Rupert Neve designs, and then we do Atmos too. So it's
Your room is a 714 also?
914.
Now, what do you do with the 9-1? Is that a wide left and right?
Wide left and right, yeah. It's additional left
So
and
you're
right.
still, hold on, let me just get that room. No, this was
not
it.
that one.
There we go.
There it is. So we've got left, center, right, wides,
Okay.
sides,
Yeah.
and then there's the back.
So you're
and
still
then
also
above.
delivering 12 tracks or 14 tracks? Or
ADMs.
ADM, okay.
Yeah.
And on the recording, when you're recording, the acts are coming to you. You have a house for them. You provide.
No, I did on my other studios. We always had a house or apartments, but this one, no. This is you have to pay your way to get here, and so I guess because of that, we're doing more mixing than tracking.
Yeah.
But a band came out from Chicago last year, and we did an album, and so we are set up for anything, really.
You're an author, correct?
Yes,
So-
I've written a couple books. We had a book that we put out 10 years ago in 2015 called Recording Unhinged, and it's done very well.
yeah.
And our publisher wanted us to do
like
a
the cover.
microphone. You like it?
I love the cover.
Well,
yeah.
thank you very much.
It's pretty.
And but our new book it's called Sylvia's Microphone Book, and it's about vintage microphones. The first 100 years, and it talks about history up to 1980.
Oh, wow.
It's a
pretty much.
fantastic book. I mean,
Yeah. This is out or it's coming out?
It's coming out. We've turned it into the publisher, so we're waiting.
Well, listen, thank you both. Okay,
Hey,
busy
thank
day.
you,
It's good to
John.
see you
Hey,
at NAMM.
and just briefly pointing out the great work you've been doing
Oh,
and
my God.
promoting excellence among not just the production side, but the recording, listening, and I mean, your work influences these products as much as we do almost. So
That
you're-
is absolutely true.
Very
And
kind.
and
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to doing projects with you with Met Alliance.
With Met Alliance.
We're going to do stuff.
Thanks a lot. Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Easy.
Good.